It started, this is the meeting of the Metropolitan Area Planning Agency Board of Directors, and will be conducted in compliance with the Nebraska statutes of the Open Meeting Act. For reference, the act is posted on the wall of the boardroom. Liz, did one of these stay? Cool.
Yeah, Supervisor Scott Bell. Mayor John Ewing. Commissioner Roger Garcia.
My friend for Russell.
Mayor Rusty Height.
Here.
Mayor Doug Kindig.
Here. Commissioner
David Klug. Councilmember Don Rowe.
Here.
Mayor Matt Walsh. Mayor Angie Winquist, present.
Very good. Can I get a motion for approval of the agenda? So, second.
Who did the first?
Friend.
Okay,
Friend. You take vote there, Liz?
Belt,
Aye.
Friend,
You Iowa people just can't.
Yeah,
speak.
hey.
Height.
I know.
You can like put that whole movement up there.
Shots fired.
Oh,
Klug,
fix that bridge and get there.
Rowe,
Yes.
Walsh,
Here.
Winquist,
Yes.
Kindig.
Yes. Agenda item C, if I could have motion to approve the board minutes from the June 26th meeting. So moved. Second. I, well. Liz.
Belt. Friend,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Walsh,
Yes.
Winquist. Yes. Kindig.
Yes. Agenda item D is our agency reports, Carlos.
Good afternoon, happy July. Or, July. Let's go year one. While the presentation's slowing down real quick.
Oh, I
Yes.
might have forgot to link his maybe.
Well, anyway, the big updates are really, we have a new staff. Alex Johnson has joined us, this July. He's coming to us from Lambright Pearson and previously, before that, through the city of Omaha. He's filling in for, our previous employee, Elle, who departed a couple months ago. Super excited to see him, join our team. Yeah, Alex, stand up. This is where we usually say stand up and welcome. He'll be doing a lot of the work with Court on the MPO, tip side, and future development projects. For me, my report this month is really just a teaser. One of the things that we're super excited about, and Mike mentioned this last month, was TRIPS, our Transformative Regional Investment Priority Systems. That is actually coming to reality. That is an additional $2 million, 100% federal share coming to the MAPA region, where we're going to focus on how do we prioritize projects, how do we engage the public in these enhancements and align our community values and needs with the projects and funding that we're receiving. So super excited about that. It's finally becoming a reality. This last week of July, we're really working in earnest to fill out the program agreement with USDOT, which has a very specific deadline of having it all signed and done before September. So it was a long time to get here. We're finally here. We're super excited. Most likely, Court is leading this effort for us for the next 2 years. So super excited, more to come, but we're all super excited about this. Next up is a little teaser. We'll be coming back to you in the coming months about our Metropolitan Transportation Plan update. So it has a new name. It's called the MTP. Previously, it used to be called the Long Range Transportation Plan. Federal requirements changed, and it's now called MPP. So it's coming back as an MTP. We're utilizing recent plans and recent studies that we've done. We're federally required to provide this document on the 5s and 0s. So every 5 years, we do a little update to some of the facts and figures. We update our model. This year, our base model is being changed from 2015 to 2022. A lot of consultants, public works, and others are really dying to see this model update come through. We're working on this very diligently. And last but not least, this is the time where we're collecting all the regionally significant projects throughout the region and looking ahead. What is happening 25 years into the future? We develop fiscal constraint tables based on those projects, O&M costs, et cetera, but more to come. It's just a teaser. This is coming. This is some of the work our staff, my staff, has been really working on for the last year or so. So hopefully coming to an end. Final deliverable has to be to Nebraska and Iowa DOT by October. So you'll be seeing the draft version in August, and then August, and then the final approval probably in September board, so that we could deliver the final product to our state partners in October. That's it for me, unless there are any questions. Without Mike, we can agree.
Thank you. At this time, agenda item A is public comments. Liz, did you receive any requests?
I did not.
Right. Agenda item F, if I could have a motion, and I'm gonna take all of these in one motion. Item number 1 is the finance committee meetings. Number 2 are the final contract payments for the food that you can see listed there. And then number 3 is travel for the NARC conference. You have a motion to approve all 3.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second, please.
Any questions? Liz?
Belt,
Aye.
Brent,
Yes.
Hyde,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Walsh,
Yes.
Winquist, yes. Hinde.
Yes. Agenda item G is old business. Item number 1 is resolution FY 2026 transportation improvement program report.
Yeah, so you might notice that this amendment actually bears some resemblance to the amendment that we brought last month. NDOT actually rejected the amendment that was turned in last month. One of the projects that was on there, we don't have it in the long-range transportation plan. In the past, they hadn't checked it at this stage, so they're kind of changing the way that they're looking at the consistency between the long-range plan and the transportation improvement program. So we're kind of working with them on what that looks like going forward. But what that meant for us was we did a roll-up of a bunch of our planning projects, things that MAPA is going to be working on over the next year, into a single line item. And so that kind of got kicked back too. So we're bringing that back to make sure that it gets amended into the tip. So there's one project that's not on there from last month's amendment, the Sarpy County project. We're going to roll that into the new Metropolitan Transportation Plan that Carlos was just talking about. So that'll come later on in September and October when we get that done, and then we'll amend that in that point. But for now, we do want to get these other planning projects rolled up into a single line item so we can start working on those before the end of this federal fiscal year. We did take this to TTAC. However, because we were kind of scrambling to make this happen after we found out that NDOT rejected the previous amendment, we didn't make the agenda deadline, so they weren't able to make the formal recommendation. TTAC didn't have any issues with this amendment. It's the same thing that we taken through last month, but that's effectively where it is. And in addition to that, we also had to kind of shift the public comment period for this. Every time we do the amendment, it's a 7-day public comment period. Normally, we take care of that between TTAC and its board meeting. We basically got all of that squared away late last week, so the public comment period will actually go through the end of next week. So instead of this being effective today, as normally would be effective Friday.
This is Nebraska.
Correct, these are all Nebraska projects. Yes, these are Nebraska planning projects that we're rolling up into a single line.
Sounds like somebody started reading stuff. Nothing critical.
Any other questions or discussion for it? If not, I would take a motion for approval. So then I say, Walsh, there's no further discussion or questions. Liz?
Belt,
Aye.
Fred,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Walsh,
Yes.
Winquist. Yes. Kennedy.
Yes. Agenda, number 2 is, 26 budget line adjustment, Matt.
Hi, this is a kind of a new thing that that we're asking here is a budget transfer for the year. Since we've updated the, go to the second page is gonna be where the expenditures are. This is just a copy of the budget for FY26 that the board approved in May. There you go. And we changed our format a little bit. We talked about this where we've gone to wider categories for the line items, because in our policies, the board has to approve any budget transfer of more than $1,000, which is, well, it gets a little tedious. So we've gone to larger groupings here, and because of that, you can look. We're asking here on this item to transfer $22,000 from our salaries budget to our office expenses budget, and the reason for that is going to be, if you look down in item H, new contracts there. We are wanting to engage with a legal services firm, and I went back and looked, and I did not build any of that cost into our budget in 26. So we need to find some funds to do that. So I'm asking for you to move the budget before we ask you to approve the contract. So that's why I'm doing it now. So I'm estimating it's going to cost us about $22,000 on the high side for legal services. I'll let Christina go over the details of that contract here in a minute. But anyway, $22,000. We didn't have it built into the contractual services budget. I've got that pretty tight underneath the office expense. So Mike and I agreed we should try to find just a budget transfer, and the salaries budget is the best place to take it, because that's also is assuming a full 1 FTE for the deputy position, which we have not hired. And because that's a higher salary position, that saves us about $10,000 just in salary expense alone every month we do not hire that position. So there is plenty of money in the salary budget while that vacancy is vacant. So that's what we're asking to do today, is just to move $22,000. And I believe Christina's intent is to execute the Bear to Home contract around August 1st.
Any questions, Matt? If not, can I have a motion to approve?
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
So the current status of our whatever legal obligations, are there cases pending? Are there any type of suits we have? Or been put on notice for any kind of legal cases right now?
No, the need for this, and again, I know Christina can answer these questions a little bit more clearly, but just in general, we found out recently that the city of Omaha is not able legally to provide certain important critical services to us. It was just yeah, and so we were just trying to cover that gap. So this is not something where we have imminent anything that's urgent. It's just, we're just trying to cover the gap legally. And there's always been some things that we wanted to get accomplished. Some on the MAPA Foundation and whatnot, that we just never had the specific legal expertise that was offered from City of Omaha.
Well, it's a great firm, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But did you put it out to other firms too?
Yeah, this is all gonna be, I don't mean to cut you off, it's just, this is what Christina's gonna have
Keep
to.
it to the agenda, I
Yeah.
had a motion on.
Yeah.
Can we wait till Christina and you can ask those questions?
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, oh, what?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it to the budget transfer and not the extra.
Okay, no, I
Is
get
that
it,
okay?
okay, yeah,
Okay,
I'm sorry.
okay. I got a motion, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion on
Okay, thanks, Cal.
that. Second.
Okay. If there's no further questions on this one, Liz?
Belt,
Aye.
Bryn,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Walsh,
Yes.
Winquist, yes. Kennedy.
Yes. Moving to agenda item 8, which is new business, item number 1 is the contract. And I think we can take both of these together, but agenda item A under that is the legal services agreement. We'll let Christine explain that and ask.
Yes, so good afternoon. For anyone that was here last month, we covered, we had a MOU with the city of Omaha that we executed, and that was to kind of better define the boundaries of what the city is able to do for us. And so we have David Brahman here, and the city's able to attend our meetings to kind of monitor the, ensure that we're following the Open Meetings Act. And so we kind of identified what the city's able to do for us in that MOU, and then that's when we went out for RFP for the legal services, and that includes things such as employment matters, general labor matters, workers' compensation, immigration. Some of you may recall we had we used colleague Justin to assist us with an H-1B visa application. And so kind of as these different things are coming up, we're looking at updating our policies and procedures. Our administrative procedures have not been updated in quite some time. And so as these different needs have started to arise, we wanted to better define what the city is able to do for us, and what, you know, city charter will allow for them to do for us. And then whatever they can do, we just want to make sure that we're supported and that we have a firm in place in case we do have questions, or, you know, in the event that there was some litigation, the city would not be able to assist us. So this is more of like a preemptive approach and just trying to be proactive to ensure that we're prepared to handle these different matters as they arise. So before you have an engagement letter. And so we did put out the RFP. We received 2 different responses, scored those, and we did select Baird Home as the firm that we would like to move forward with. We had some discussions kind of around what MAPA's needs are, and we landed on kind of a 90-day trial period because we have not had services before. We just want to see like what those interactions look like, how often, you know, do we need those services. And so the letter of engagement lays out, I'm gonna have to do some multitasking here, so I'm screen sharing with you all. So on page 2, you'll see the rates for the different partners under the fees and expenses. And so we landed on a fixed fee arrangement, so $1,000 a month. That would cover day-to-day phone calls and questions that may arise. It would not cover extensive policy or contract review. So we're asking to go ahead and proceed with the letter of engagement with $1,000 fixed fee, and then the hourly rates would be billable if we needed additional assistance. And we'll go through the first 90 days and then kind of examine that and then see if we want to continue with the engagement as it's presented, or if we need to make any tweaks to it at that time, then we can do so. And happy to answer any questions. We did receive references as well for Baird Home and followed up with those. And we had some really great feedback from everyone that we spoke to.
So is that just for staff then, or is that for this board also?
It would include any agency matters. So I suppose if something came up with, you know, the board of directors, then you know, we would be able to go to our council for that as well.
I don't know the way the world's going, I might have to have one. So in the past, we were represented by the city, right?
Well, that's kind of where all of this started.
I know.
Yeah.
We,
Well, we've always had the city of Omaha, you know, provide legal services, but when we really started diving into that to try to understand what does that actually mean,
no, I get it.
yeah, that's where we found out that really the city of Omaha can't provide much for
Right.
MAPA, yeah.
But
So
how many
that's,
cases have ever been filed against us, or, you know, suits or whatever?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's.
in my 11 years here, we haven't had any litigation
Is it
or.
contract review and that type of stuff that they're not able to provide anymore?
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
directly in conflict with the city charter.
Just,
Administrative oversight.
yeah,
Christine.
you're not lucky because I
Give me the jump.
Yep, we have David Robin here and he can kind of jump in, he's been around for like conversations.
Yeah, this kind of, it evolved over the last few years. I've been the MAPA attorney for about 3 years now. We shuffle different divisions and departments and boards at the city. And what started happening was we started just getting more in-depth requests for legal services. And you're right, it was not litigation. Typically, I don't think there's been any litigation that's come through. Couple examples are I was asked to draft a deed of trust and some real estate documents that would assist in facilitating transfer of property. Asked to give some legal opinions on things that were a little more in-depth, required a little more, I think, hands-on MAPA involvement and knowledge, just institutional knowledge. And so at that point, I spoke with the city attorney, Matt Kuzi, because again, I'm happy to provide whatever services need to be provided. And my background actually is in real estate litigation, so I can do it. But I also know from being a litigator, a civil litigator, I know the consequences that can come sometimes from those real estate transactions or contracts you put in place. And so my question to Kuzi was, look, based on what we're allowed to do as city attorneys, because there are boundaries with the services we can provide for entities other than the city of Omaha and the city departments. And so I asked Matt, I don't know if we're not getting into an area where we're exposing our law department to both code violations, municipal code violations, as well as potential liability. And that's when I did a deep dive on the history, because there's been 2 other attorneys currently in my department who have represented MAPA through the years, and the only services they ever really provided was just contract review from the perspective of, is the form okay? Do we see any high level issues? Not really in the weeds negotiating for you guys. We've never done that. And then all these other services that were coming up, nobody else had provided those. So I went back through the archives and tried to figure out, okay, when did the city start representing MAPA? Because there are so many members. You know, why isn't Sarpy County giving somebody? Why isn't Council Bluffs giving somebody? There are no other attorneys involved, and we were just curious, what are the other members doing, and what is the city's real responsibility, and what authority do we have to do things? So all that to say, we kind of got to the point where we said, okay, we're going to carve out the things legally we think we can do under city code, and then we probably need to go out and retain an attorney or hire an in-house counsel to handle those more in-depth issues. Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, I'm just curious how that was handled in that regard, because, a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot, but there's some boards in our state that Attorney General represents, County Attorney represents, it depends on what level it's at.
Any other questions or discussion?
But I think it's good firm.
Yeah.
And they're way more expensive than I could do it for a lot cheaper. I could do it for probably, if you pay me $25,000 a year, I'll do it for you.
Well, and then there'd be that double charge to get us out of trouble. I think the board president, I'm gonna go ahead and veto that.
That's a very, very good idea.
Is that all, Vince?
If we don't have any other questions for Christina, I am gonna take a separate vote on this, just because the next item's got something to explain you on it also, so. Could I have a motion to approve the new contract?
So I move, Bill.
Second, no further discussion. Liz?
Bell,
Aye.
Friend,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Walsh,
Yes.
Winquist. Yes. And
Yes. Item D is on-call master service agreement. Carlos, I'll let you take it.
Yeah, no problem. We are initiating our master services agreement. Basically, we put out in our queue for several months back in early January this year. We had it open for a couple months. We had about 8 different vendors apply. Of the 8 vendors, 1 was deemed unqualified. We did an interview. From this interview, we ended up selecting 5, which is kind of what we're looking at here. What we're trying to do is provide this administrative excellence. What these master services agreements allow us to cut off that RFQ. These are pre-qualified firms that we're able to use for many of the contracts that we bring in here. a lot of our Heartland 2050 grants, a lot of planning studies that we're taking on. Usually these used to be 1 or 2 a year. We recently ramped that up, which is also why some of these legal services have exacerbated our friends and neighbors that were at the city of Omaha. But we do take on about 6 to 7 different contracts every year on behalf of our agencies. And so this is just a way for us to provide more expedited term for these types of contracts. These agreements, each of them will not exceed $895,000 and $895,300 per contract. The typical services that we're looking at are between $10,000 and $450,000. So smaller level of planning involvements. And the 5 firms that we've chosen to move forward are Benish, FHQ, HDR, Olson, and WSP. So any questions?
So none of these will exceed, you said the 895 and change.
Correct. For a term of 3 years. So these firms will be with us and available for us to solicit task order. Right, so these firms have been pre-vetted, pre-approved, meeting federal guidelines and standards. Our next process would be developing a scope, negotiating prices, and developing a task order. So we're removing kind of some of the early phases that we typically see here, which is a program agreement and a program agreement and a master service and a service. Does that make sense?
So these 5, once you have a scope of a project,
Correct.
these 5 will bid on the scope of that project, correct? So
Yep.
you've still got a competitive bidding
Correct.
process.
Correct. And our contract lasts 3 years with these firms. We have the option to extend it 1 additional year, if we deem so necessary. Or at that point, we re-solicit and choose another 5 or 6 or however many.
And then we got out clauses in that contract, I'm assuming.
Yes.
That's the one Barrett Holmes better be reading.
What's that?
That's the one Barrett Holmes better be reading.
So,
I understood the previous.
any other questions or discussion, Carlos?
That's just on B, right?
Yeah.
I'll move B. Got Bill.
I'll second it with this.
Liz?
Belt,
Aye.
Frank,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Walsh,
Yes.
Lundquist. Yes. And Dave.
Yes, item C is on-call professional services for WSP USA Incorporated, Carlos.
Correct. This is part of our master services agreement for our travel demand model. We're trying to engage WSP to do additional work on our travel demand model. Basically, how do we communicate and provide the data from our travel demand model to many of the different agencies and people that are, or agencies and or consultants that are requesting this information, developing a framework for us to better communicate how they're using the model and what are the outputs of that model. So we're trying to solicit WSP to help us out with that work.
Is that an electronic type deal?
Yes, we are likely
They're
using.
also they're also in the construction side of things.
We don't do construction, the planning side,
Planning side,
yeah.
because they're on the list here, fine. So they're in the software development side too.
Any questions? Motion to approve?
So moved.
Liz?
Belt,
Aye.
Frank, Height, Rowe,
Yes.
Walsh,
Yes.
Lundquist. Yes. And Dave.
Yes. Item number 2 is purchases. Take both of these together. Item A is access systems for a printer and copier lease, totaling just shy of 22,000 for 5 years. And item B is the Regional Economic Development Summit, which is for 14,600. Is there any, Christine, did you have something to add?
Oh, no, I just didn't know if you wanted, I just was gonna mention that this is a 60-year term, or 60-month term. So 5 years, and we did go out for bid, so we received a proposal from Bishop and Access Systems as well, so that's it on the copier.
Laura, did you have anything at all?
I can just show because we just started outreach on the summit, so I can just give you a little information. So we are working with the Greater Omaha Chamber and their Economic Development Partnership to put on a summit, so that'll be on September 9th. So it'll be a regional economic development summit. Our keynote presentation will be by Del Gines, a local guy who is Chief Innovation Officer at the International Economic Development Council. So we're excited. We've just started to get word out about this yesterday. So please join us if you can. And we are holding the contract for the venue and food for that. So that's the 14,600 that you see there, as well as some additional potential printing and other supplies. We had about I think $25,000 in our budget for last fiscal year for the summit. We were planning to hold it before the end of last fiscal year, but due to this partnership, we pushed it into this fiscal year, and so it's quite a bit less spend, about $10,000 less than we would normally spend. But we're really excited about the partnership and the contest.
Questions for you, Christina or Laura? If not, I take a motion to approve vote. One more time. Stay up front. Any no further questions? Liz?
Bill, Brent,
Yes.
Heig,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Walsh,
Yes.
Winquist,
Yes.
Kennedy.
Yes. Item H, do any other board members have anything else they would like to discuss? And there's no additional business, so with that, I will call this meeting adjourned, and everybody have a good